Yo, what's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be answering a quick question for y'all. This was a big question that I had whenever I was joining the military, and even when I was in A school and after boot camp, and that is, whenever you get to the fleet in the Navy, are you going to be able to live in the barracks, or are you going to have to live on the ship? Let's talk about it. Leave a like and subscribe. All right, so you got your orders and you're like, man, I'm gonna get to the ship. It's gonna be so lit. You're watching all these barracks tours of the base that you're going to, and there's all types of cool stuff on that, right? And for me, like, I was looking up barracks even before I joined the military, just trying to figure out the type of life that I would live. And then I found out in A school that you're not guaranteed to live in the barracks, depending on what ship you're on and what the circumstances around that ship you're on are. So I would consider myself lucky because I actually did get a barracks as soon as I got to the fleet. However, this is like super rare. I know that doesn't really happen to a lot of people. A lot of people usually have to live on the ship until they get like their basic quals, which is like their messenger of the watch, their 3M, which is like, you know how to do maintenance on the ship. And it's also like your whatever in-rate quals that you need. Whatever your chain of command is asking you to get before, they may use the barracks as like a reward for you to be able to live in the barracks. Sometimes like they won't even route anything for you until you've gotten all these quals. It just depends, because I know like ships like the Roosevelt, they won't let people live in the barracks until they get their quals. So that's not like a fleet-wide thing. It just depends on the ship. Let's talk about some circumstances where you would get thrown into the barracks pretty much immediately, or you'll get thrown on the barge. The barge is like a big like cube, and it sits on the harbor, like the water, and it's basically like living on the ship, but it's only the living facilities. So it's like there's like a laundry room there. I would say it's better than living on the ship, but the thing about the barge is like the barge is a lot dirtier than the ship, and the ship is already pretty dirty, so like the barge is worse because the standards aren't there. You don't have like any like high-ranking people living on the barge, so it's like it could be nasty. I saw a video of like people on the barge with like trash and stuff all on the floor, all types of craziness. The barge is where like new check-ins will go if the barracks are full, because depending on what base you are, the barracks could be full, and so you would have to live on the barge if you couldn't live on the ship. And the way you would live on the barge is if the ship was uninhabitable. So this is like if your ship is in dry dock, or if your ship is in PIA. My ship was actually just in PIA, and that's like planned incremental availability. So the ship isn't completely in dry dock, but it's in the yard, so it's going through a bunch of maintenance. They're redoing a bunch of the decks, a bunch of everything, and so the ship is uninhabitable. So there's like toxic fumes, or there's too much maintenance going on the ship. So you either live on the barge or you go straight to the barracks, depending on your chain of command. I would say just prepare for the worst, hope for the best. So whenever you do get to your ship, if you're not sure if you're gonna be living in the barracks or not, definitely ask your sponsor before you go. So whenever you actually go to the ship, you're gonna have somebody from your chain of command. If you reach out on your orders, there's like a thing where it says, reach out to this email to get a sponsor. A sponsor is the person who is gonna like show you around the ship, show you around base, take you to where you need to be. It's gonna be your introduction to your chain of command and the ship that you're going to. So for me, I was really asking my sponsor, like, am I gonna be able to live in the barracks? What do I need to bring? Like, do I need to get rid of some stuff? Because I had a TV in A school, like I had a couple little things, and I mainly got rid of a lot of it because I wasn't sure if I was gonna be living in the barracks or not. So when I got to the ship, I came prepared to live on the ship, and they told me, hey, you're actually gonna be living on the barracks, which was really cool. And I'm really thankful to that. If my chain of command is watching, shout out to y'all, because y'all came through. But if you guys get put in a situation where you're not gonna be living on the barracks, don't worry, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Yeah, living on the ship isn't like the best. It's not like ideal, like compared to living in the barracks. The barracks is like living in like a hotel room pretty much, except you have like a roommate. So the barracks is not perfect. Neither living situation is really perfect until you get BAH. And even then, I'm not sure if that's gonna be perfect. For me, I can't wait to get BAH. I'm trying to eventually become, an E5 so I can get BAH. That's my goal in the next 2 years. But I would say, like, if you're worried about having to live on the ship, like, don't worry. I'm going to do another video about living on the ship once I get a little bit more experience with being underway, because I don't really have any experience with that at the time of me making this video. But I would just say, like, just prepare for the worst, hope for the best. That's the only advice I can really say, but I know this was a big question that I had, and I just want to be honest with you guys and just tell you the truth and tell you from what I've seen in my experience. If you like what I had to say, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. I genuinely appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are amazing. You're dope. You're awesome. And, even if you're, like, not in the Navy and you're watching this channel and you're like, man, should I join the Navy? I know a lot of people reach out to me about joining the Navy, maybe wanting to join the Navy. And I would just say, like, if you are curious, talk to a recruiter. Just understand that, like, they're not always going to be honest to you because they have quotas to fill. So that's why it's good to watch YouTube channels like this. So if you are, like, even considering, just subscribe to my channel. I got a bunch of videos about being in the military, and I would never become a recruiter because I want to be authentic with you guys and actually be able to tell you the truth. And I don't want to water my stuff down by, trying to recruit people. That's not my goal. My goal is just to be honest and keep transparency. So I appreciate you guys. Hope you stay blessed. Follow me on Instagram at DEEPSIDE999, DEEPSIDE 999. Stay blessed. Peace.
Tryna hit Dubai, American Express, swiping visas when I fly. Ayy, know my ops be falling off, don't even ask them why. Ayy, had to take that.